Everyone to the I was gonna say first annual, but that's not, I don't know what I was talking about, the November 2nd last time ever called the Lacey Park Board of Commissions meeting. It's 5:30 and I will call this meeting to order. Kang, kang, kang. Yeah, so I guess before we start, any additions or deletions? Or I guess excuse me, I have one. So I'd like to make an addition to the meeting. So we'd like to move 8F, which is our community recognition. I would like to move that above number 6, which is for citizens public comment. And so if I can get a motion to approve that change, if I hear it without hearing any other changes to the agenda.
Recommend.
Got one, all right. All approved? Aye. All right, officially changed. Okay, and let's do some introductions. First, we'll start with the board, and then we'll move to the Lacey Park Recreation and Culture employees. So I'll start. I am Aaron Wheeler. I'm the board. I was going to say board president, the board chair, and we'll go around the table, starting with Sarah. If you want to. I guess Sarah Town, if you want to introduce yourself as your official title.
My name is Sarah Town, and I am the Lacey Youth Council representative for the Parks Board.
I'm Commissioner Wendy Goodwin.
Commissioner Barry Larson.
Commissioner Good.
Commissioner Dave Weber.
Fantastic, thank you. Welcome all commissioners to this wonderful meeting, and we will go around the table for staff members.
Sarah Smith, I'm the Executive Assistant for Lacey Parks Culture and Recreation.
Awesome. Is it the only staff member that we have in the building?
That is the only staff member for Parks besides me. So I'm Jen Burbidge, Director of Parks, Culture, and Recreation. Hello, everybody. And then we do have 2 of our fabulous Public Works staff with us tonight, and I will let them introduce themselves, but the 2 departments work very intricately together. And so we just really appreciate everything that they do to keep everything looking fantastic out there. So Jamie, do you want to introduce?
I'm Jamie Oakland, Parks Maintenance Supervisor.
And I'm Julie McFadden, Senior Tech for the RAC in Rainier Vista.
Awesome. Well, thank you, and welcome everyone to this very exciting meeting. Glad that everyone is here. Next, do we have any announcements that are going to be made, Jen?
I do have one. I think most of you are aware we have set the Commission on Equity / Park Board meeting. It's going to be a joint meeting of the 2 boards to talk about our corporate sponsorship policy. And that has been set for November 14th at 5:30 p.m. Sarah Smith did confirm that we do have a quorum for that. So that is fantastic. That'll be a hybrid meeting, so you all can attend just like this meeting via Zoom or in person. And we'll send out reminders for that. But I want to make sure you all have it on your calendars.
November 14th. Write it down. Awesome. Well, thank you, Jen. So was that a thumbs up? Okay. So next, moving on to number 4, approval and corrections of the October meeting minutes. Did any commissioners have any changes they want to address to the October meeting before we make a motion to approve it?
The only thing I saw was old business on C. It says Chair Wheeler mad emotion. So we might have to made. You didn't mad emotion, right?
Mad emotion.
You made a motion.
I did this several times. I totally get how that confusion could have happened. Good catch. And
Good. I just wanted you to go forward with a smile.
yeah. Awesome, cool. Okay, well, any other changes? Anyone else had? All right, hearing none, I will make a motion to erase me from being mad on the October meeting minutes as stated by Commissioner Goodwin.
Oh, can I make one more?
Oh,
Sorry.
please.
Okay, sorry. I was gonna ask that we add that there was 684 responders to Sarah's minutes if we could. And that we asked for the 5% increase on the fees added every 2 years, just so we have that for future reference in case anybody needs to see that. Is that okay to add? Is anybody opposed to or object to that?
That's very valid. Yes, please.
Yeah, because I like numbers and data and figures, especially moving to the next commissioners.
Numbers are fun.
And that is officially all I have. I had 2 Post-it notes and that's, now I'm done.
Would you all like to approve as amended, or would you like to see those back at the December meeting along with the November minutes?
I know personally I'm comfortable with approving as amended if everyone else feels comfortable with that.
Yes,
I'm fine with
I
that.
agree.
Okay. Then I will make a motion to approve meetings as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Awesome. Motion carries. Okay. Now we have moving on to correspondences. Everyone just take a note of in your packet, there are the correspondences that we have. If there are any of them, if anyone wants to have like future discussions about any of them, we can certainly have that at a future time. There is one that is about the Children's Day, and we are going to be addressing that at the work session on the 14th. So we do have an opportunity to talk about that. And but if there's any other, then we can let's chat offline and get that on a future meeting. Comfortable? Perfect.
Yes, I'm comfortable.
Okay.
I
And
did, oh, Aaron,
yes.
Chair Wheeler, sorry.
Yes.
I did want to just mention the one regarding Wonderwood Park. There was no theft of the swing. The swing was removed
Oh,
for
yes.
for maintenance purposes. So
Thank you for reminding me of that part. Yes, Wonderwood. There was not a swing thief in the city of Lacey. We are safe. Because you know what happens. First swings, next giant trampolines, next, I mean, who knows? So safe there. Thank you for reminding me about that. All right. Moving on, we do have a hero amongst us who helped us recover a very important piece of equipment for our staff at Rainier Vista. So we would like to make a recognition to our community member, Nancy Peer, who was able to, I don't know the entire story of it, but from what I've imagined in my brain, she chased down like the T-1000 in Terminator 2, the person who had driven away with one of our gators at Rainier Vista, and she was able to point them out and maybe even single-handedly wrestle them to the ground. Like I said, I don't know, I'm making all this up, but whatever she did, it was amazing. And the city of Lacey really wanted to thank her for helping out when she did not have to.
So Julie or Jamie, do you want to let us know what happened? I think it was at the rack, right?
Oh, was it the rack? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was Rainier Vista.
Yeah,
Like I said, I was making all this in my brain. I don't know the whole story.
Let's hear the real scoop.
Yeah.
I think we just wanted an opportunity to bring Nancy and Lou here, just to thank them for their assistance to our department, and just to give them some sort of public recognition. And we thought more than anything, all the commissioners would really be appreciative for their help at the regional athletic complex. So on July 15th, one of our seasonal employees was cleaning the bathroom out the rack, and they have those little electric carts, golf carts that they use to get around the park, and had parked their cart outside the bathrooms and was cleaning the bathrooms, inside the bathroom, cleaning the bathroom, when a group of teenagers, came up and stole the cart and took it off site. And so when he came out from cleaning the bathroom, he obviously realized the cart was gone and saw it kind of headed off into the wilderness type of thing. And he contacted Julie, who oversees his operations out there, and she called another staff member who works really, really close to the wreck. And so she asked that individual to come in and start checking the security cameras to see if we could get an identification on, you know, where they were headed or who it possibly could have been. And as she's calling this staff member in to start looking at the cameras, she gets a call from Nancy. So Nancy is a good neighbor to us out at the Regional Athletic Complex. She's at the park every single day. She is kind of our guardian angel out there. She is walking the park every day, watching out for every little corner of the park. And fortunately, she had a good enough relationship with Julie prior to that she actually had Julie's number. And so she sees this cart go by their house, right? Am I correct on that, Nancy? All of a sudden, this City of Lacey cart is taking off down the road past Nancy's house. And so she has the wherewithal to call Julie and say, hey, like, is this supposed to be happening? And so she gave us the exact location of where the cart was. And Julie was able to contact the staff member who was already on their way in, and they rerouted right over there and caught the kids and got our cart back. So those carts are $17,000 and they're not cheap. And so unfortunately, there was some damage to the cart when they were taking it for a joyride. Couple $100 worth of damage, but it's certainly not the $17,000 that we could have been out that we would have had to pay to replace this cart had we not recovered it. So we are super thankful just for Nancy's kind of guardianship of the park, for being an amazing neighbor, for having a great relationship with all the staff out there. We passed around a card today to sign, and everybody's like, oh, of course I'll sign it. Everybody out there just loves Nancy and Lou, and we wanted to do I guess the best we could, just to say thank you and to give them some sort of public recognition. We also put together a little gift basket with a little something for everybody. So we got Lou gets a rack hat.
Dakota.
Even Dakota gets
the.
We heard that Nancy's quite the canner, so we got some.
It's actually Lou.
Oh, Lou, even better. So yeah, you get to enjoy it. Lou will do the work.
He does everything.
Some sweet treats and some Lacey pens and frisbees and
Some candy
Ju-
jar,
yeah,
yeah.
just a little token of our appreciation. So thank you for being good neighbors and guardian angels to us. And do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I just want to say that the crew and I, we are able to have a good time at the park because of our regulars like you guys. We just thoroughly enjoy, not only our daily conversations, but also the fact that you do watch the park so closely, because you take a huge stress off of us because we can't have eyes everywhere. So yeah, we're just super thankful to have you next door.
Thank you.
Well, I'm excited. I mean, to me, this feels like this is the beginning of a Citizens on Patrol program for the city of Lacey, circa Police Academy 2. I've always wanted something like that, and this is wonderful. Thank you so much, Nancy, and yeah, Lacey wouldn't be who we are without you. So thank you so much.
Are we gonna spray paint their name like on the bumper of the gator?
Oh, there you go.
Be like a little Nancy.
We'll make a sticker.
Lou, Nancy and Lou Gator.
And thank you, Lou. Yeah. I love it. All right. Okay. Citizen and/or public comment. Is there anyone in the Zoom that, no? And were there any correspondence ahead of time for? Okay.
Not getting it.
Oh,
Bye, guys. Thanks for
Oh.
coming.
bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So, yeah, hearing no citizen or public comment, we'll move on to number 7. So old business, 7A, Greg Kuyo Park Phase 1A update.
Okay, thank you. Just a real quick one tonight. We are still refining the 30% or the full estimate out of the 30% design. We had reported last time that we talked about this topic, that we were going to actually be going to a work session to update the council. If you'll probably recall, that was supposed to be October 27th, but what ended up happening is that we actually got the topic bumped to December 8th. There was a joint North Thurston Public School Board and City Council work session that happened on the 27th. So the topic didn't end up fitting into that discussion. And so just wanted to let you guys know that that meeting didn't happen, but it will, again, will be on the agenda for December 8th. We're already scheduled. And the only other news to report is that the city manager's office is putting together the legislative agenda, and we've decided to go ahead and do a direct ask of $500,000 for the project to help with the ADA components for accessibility. So if we were to get the 500,000 from the legislature, it would be, part of it would be for the ADA components of the inclusive playground, and part of it would be for the paved pathways. So that was, I was excited to hear that the project made it into the legislative agenda. Of course, that legislative agenda needs to get approved by council before it actually goes out. But it's kind of exciting that the project is on the list for that. And that's all I have for Great Keogh Park.
Great, thank you. Great update. All right, 7B, Young Child and Family Center of Lacey update.
Yes. Okay. So just a couple of things have happened. There was the community conversation, which we had reported that was going to take place. So the school district hosted that. It was October 18th. It went really well. There were different breakout groups. I think I shared with you. They talked about early learning, the importance, and then some of the struggles out of COVID and just the need for the services in Lacey. And then the partners, so the YMCA, the city, and the school district staff were able to kind of give a similar report of what you've already seen of what could potentially be at the site with some of the, amenities that the public have been asking for from a recreation standpoint, combined with, the early learning center and just meeting the needs of families holistically in the form of more like a wellness hub. So that meeting went really well. And then there was actually the joint work session on the 27th. The Young Child and Family Development Center was on the agenda for that joint school board and city council meeting. And so kind of the same report out came. But what the school district shared at that meeting was that they are looking at the potential of doing a capital levy, which is different than one of their capital bonds. And they, for the early learning portion. And so they may potentially go out to the voters for that early learning center, at least the educational component side of it. Because as you all know, it's a, pretty heavy lift. The project is a $70 million estimate. And so, so right now the group is trying to figure out where the funding stacks are. And that's one that the school board has identified for potential funding. So they reported that out on October 27th. And then the partners also had a meeting November 1st. So a lot of activity in the last month on this project of really, strategizing, putting heads together, reporting out, etc. But out of that meeting, again, just looking at a timeline and different funding stacks. And that's all I have about that one.
Declare.
That $70 million levy, is that, how many years is that spread over?
Yes, so their intent is not to ask for the full amount. And so I don't know, at this point, I don't know exactly how much. So we'll have to get more information from the school board, or even, we could even invite one of their staff to a park board meeting to talk about the specifics. But the intent was to try to fund the, not necessarily the recreational amenities, but at least the educational component. So the early learning, the classroom portion.
A quick question. Does Lacey or Thurston County have school impact fees that could be directed towards something like that, as a curiosity?
Do they have what now?
School impact fees, like park
school
impact. I mean, like that was a like another possibility, because I know if you're looking at educational, aspect, that's essentially what the impact fee for. Well, I was just curious.
Yeah, so I actually don't have an answer for you, but I can find out. That's not one of the things that has come up as a funding opportunity.
Okay, well, I can look it up. I just didn't know if you and I can look it up.
I think it would be an impact fees collected now related to the school district. And if the school district becomes a sponsor, and I'm assuming they got distribution of that.
Well, I know that.
But I don't know if it'd be a new impact fee. That's what you're.
Well, no, the way that the impact fee, that's what's drawn for the greater community as a whole.
Right.
So it is an impact because
Yeah.
the city is impacted in its more. So. But I was just curious. I'm not familiar with here.
I think it's a good thing to look into.
I was just curious.
I'd like to.
Just a question.
That's 7 0.
Jen's supposed to know everything.
That's 7 0. To clarify.
I can Google it. My brain's not on all cylinders tonight, so.
70 at 70 million.
Yep.
70 million, yes, and that's actually that is 2024 construction dollars.
Yeah.
And that is all inclusive, and that includes the property that the school district already owns is a part of that 70 million. So that's the full project. And they're putting the property at $4 million, the value of the property that the school district already owns.
And did they already come up with the percentages from each group that would be impacted or who's contributing to the work? So is it like how much North Thurston would be responsible for, how much Parks is responsible for?
So we haven't gotten into that much detail. I think I shared a couple meetings ago with the board that we're looking at the school district owning the entire facility since it's on their property, and then doing some sort of a lease out to the nonprofit, which would be the YMCA. And then potentially the city would be over the outdoor components, because we've talked about a spray park and potentially adventure playground, things like that. So we're still fine tuning that. But the square footage, and I think I did report this out on the slides as well, it's like 45, what's the split for the square footage? I'd have to actually look it up. It's about 2/3, 1/3. So 2/3 like the early learning center portion of it, and then 1/3 the recreation components. So I'll continue to keep you updated, but I thought that was significant news about the school district potentially going out to the public to help fund the early learning. And they may decide to fund other things as well with it, but that's something that they had reported out at the work session. So, and that's all I had on that.
Awesome, thank you. All right, moving on to number 8, new business, 8A, Park Board name change, and this is an actionable item.
Yeah, so I know that the Park Board members have expressed some interest in aligning the Park Board name with the Parks, Culture, and Recreation Department name. And so if you all wanted to make an action, it would be to rename the Board of Park Commissioners to the Parks, Culture, and Recreation Board. And then what would happen is if the board wanted to propose a name change, then I would take that recommendation from you all to the city council, and they would be the ones who would make the name change official.
So would it not be the Lacey Parks Cultural and Recreation Board? It'll just be the Parks Cultural and Recreational Board?
Yes, I'm sorry, Lacey.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea. Does any comments from the other commissioners about yay or nay or controversy, anything?
I love this idea. I've been waiting. I'm ready to sign my name.
I agree. I think it's a good idea.
All right. Then hearing only positive remarks about it, I will make a motion to recommend the name change to Lacey Parks Culture and Recreation Board.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Bring it on. All right.
All right, thank you. I will take this to the city council. I'll let you know once I've done that.
Great. That is exciting. Making changes. All right. 8B, 22 work plan and accomplishment review. So it's all in your packet.
Yes, thank you. It is in your packet. And so for this one, this is not an actionable item at this point. We'll be bringing this back to you next month. This is the time of year where we review the work plan that we've been working through for the current year. And then we also add, we highlight the things that are done, and then we add, other noteworthy achievements to note. And this is for our year-end reporting. And then also we're preparing for the joint work session that you all have with the city council once a year, and that'll happen sometime in the first quarter of 2023. So I will share my screen, and so I can make live edits. Can you all see this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so essentially, and this is for our year-end reporting, and then also we're preparing for the joint work session that you all have with the city council once a year, and that'll happen sometime in the first quarter of 2023. So I will share my screen, and so I can make live edits. Can you all see this?
For some reason, it decided to start playing the YouTube. For some reason,
Yeah.
randomly. Just in the middle of the meeting. That's awesome. Okay.
Okay, are we all good?
Yeah.
I was like, that's weird, I can hear myself. Okay,
Again, saying this again.
so essentially what I've done is I've highlighted the items that are completed, or like this one here, the Parks Culture and Recreation Comprehensive Plan. I did highlight this one because what I'd like to highlight for the year end is that, we made we made progress with this in reaching out to the public, which is one of the most important reasons why we do this plan update. And then also looking at the vision and the strategic goals. And so even though this one does say in progress, it's also highlighted as something that we made significant strides. This one here, scholarship policy review, we will do that. We need to do that before the end of the year. So I think Sarah already has a note to put that on December's agenda. Same with this one, the community garden pilot project. Again, it's significant, and we'll have to update this one if it's not far enough along by next meeting. We can take the highlight off. But of course, the Young Child and Family Center, of course, the master plan, that was a huge one. And then the phase 1A design is ongoing, and we still have the financial plan, so it's in progress. And then I did, so Sarah and Sue and I sat down, put our heads together, and we tried to think of all the noteworthy achievements, and we came up with quite a big list here. I was like, wow, you guys have done a lot. So yeah, I'm open for questions, comments, edits. I can make live edits to this document because this is a draft that we're working on together. And if you don't have any, that's fine. You can think about it, and this will come back at the next meeting too.
Perfect. Thank you, Jen. All right. Next, we got 8C, work plan draft.
Okay, kind of along the same lines. This one is the work plan for next year. And so this is also a draft. we obviously use the same document, but add certain things based on what's been approved in the budget and some other things. I have some that I have some changes I wanted to make tonight. And I'm just realizing I probably should have done a track change for you so you can see what the differences are. So I added this one. This is the Woodland Creek Park Bridge and fencing. We did get approval for that. I think I had shared with you which budget approvals we got. So I did add that one in. So we didn't get approved for the Bush Park playground equipment replacement, but I did get contacted by the Gateway Rotary who are interested in potentially partnering for this and helping with some of the funding. And so even though it's something that it looks like it might not be done for a while, I thought that it should probably go on to the work plan. Actually, won't be. This probably could move to future, actually, now that I think about it. I'll fix that later. Let's see, Commissioner Wheeler, I'm sorry we haven't done anything on this one. And I'm not sure if you're interested in still leaving that one on for next year. This
For
would be a great
the
project.
park, the wildlife information. Yeah,
Yeah,
that thing's a sort of thorn in my side. You know, really and you know, I proposed this before I think any other member of the board was here. So because of all the wildlife that we had with you know, all the birds, different birds we have at Wonderwood Park and at Woodland Creek, you know, I had a vision of you know, trying to partner with the Audubon Society in the area to, you know, potentially have you know, tours or more involvement with Lacey Parks. And then the pandemic happened and it kind of put everything just like that kind of on hold. And I honestly have not. And then with the creation of you know, with our new park, you know, there is a lot more opportunity there. I guess one of the concerns that I had that I don't think ever really got addressed, and it may not even be a real concern, was, you know, would inviting you know, an organization out to identify wildlife impact any future planning for like park amenities or anything? Would it hinder any you know, construction of like endangered wildlife species were discovered or anything like that? So I did have a thought, like I wouldn't want something like that to hinder any future plans for the park, but it definitely is something that I think as we move forward with the Audubon or with our future parks to involve them more. I honestly don't know how. I don't know what's the best way to reach out to them and make that happen. I had sent an email out to them a while ago, didn't really receive much traction back from it, and then the pandemic happened, and I've seen this on here every couple of months, hoping that it's not brought up because I haven't done anything about it.
Have you reached
well, I
out?
think it'd be a gregreat job for like an intern, you know.
Well, what about the
just not big.
Nisqually Refuge? They have, yeah, the Nisqually Refuge, they have people that are volunteers there and people who actually have programs already written up that maybe we could,
Or Nisqually Reach.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I see so many. I mean, we have bald eagles at Woodland Creek. We have owls at Wonderwood. There's when I just saw like the coolest like brown creeper just crawling up a tree about 5 feet from my face just earlier in the week walking through the park. So I mean, there's so many. I mean, I saw magpie for the first time, and like, I mean, I've walked that park for 20 years, and I'd never seen a magpie in that park, and all of a sudden here was just one chirping in the tree. So there's so much wildlife. There's pileated woodpeckers at Wonderwood. I mean, there's so much opportunity for there to be. And I do see a lot of people taking photos, and professional type photos at Wonderwood, hunting out for the birds. So I don't know, just a good partnership that we can come up with. And now that we're through the pandemic, I think it definitely is something to revisit.
Well, if you
Yeah,
need-
so what if we, I have a suggestion. What if we just put all on here? And then, if someone has the time, I mean, that's where we tend to fall short. We have a severe bottleneck of projects right now. And as you can see, a lot of things from the last work plan are rolling over. And so that's where we fall short is capacity. But if we had volunteers to do some of this work, then I love the idea too. I mean, we could put stuff on our website about what kind of nature is in our parks. I think it's a fabulous idea. It's just that, again, we fall short with capacity.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I have time. I have time.
Most is
Look.
about St. Martin's University.
Or Evergreen.
Yeah, or Evergreen, but they're Olympia side,
Olympia.
that's.
But we just need somebody to help us with a wildlife information gathering kind of thing. So if
And-
somebody has a
And
program.
Black Hills Audubon may not be the organization that I was thinking of, because they are an Olympia-based organization, but I don't know if they cover all of Thurston County. I don't know too much about them, but you guys had great ideas about the Nisqually Delta organizations.
Well, everyone cares about the wildlife, so it's
True.
the birds don't know Thurston County boundaries, so we
There's
can,
no borders.
yeah, animals.
Birds have no words, that's true. Yeah, Black Hills Audubon is the only one I know of in the area, and they did express interest in taking a look at Great Cuyo Park too. So they would be a good one.
Okay, yeah, I kind of figured, like, if anything, as we move forward with like the new, like, that would be something that would be, a big interest anyways. But yeah, just with the established wildlife that we have in our existing parks, it would be a great idea. So
Cool. I did add this one, the dogs off leash issues, and really, spending some thought and pulling in partners on that topic. I did add the sponsorship policy update. There will be some updates that come out of our discussion. I already know there will be updates because I've already started making track changes to the policy, just some of the smaller things. One of the main things, though, is changing it from corporate sponsorship to just sponsorship. We actually have individuals sometimes who are interested in like sponsoring. We have someone right now who's interested in sponsoring a room at the new museum, and they're not a corporate. So that's why I coined it that way on there. And then as far as planning, those ones are the same. I did add this one. Oh wait, future. Yeah, so this one actually should say, what I didn't incorporate is the adjacent property. So this one, the reason this says dock and swim area completed, beach concept in progress. So we had some work done in 2018, some safety analysis and some recommendations. And we have some concept plans of making our beach, our main swim beach in Lacey, more accessible, and not having such a steep slope into the water for patron and swimmers' comfort and safety. And so what we need to add to this is and adjacent, because we this year purchased the parcel, the 1.8 acre. So if there's planning that's going to be done at the park, it would make the most sense to include the new adjacency to that process. So the status should be adjacent property purchase. And this is a big one, and I'm going to put an estimate of 2024 on that. So this one would just remain in the future category. I wouldn't recommend for it to go on 2023, although there could be discussions in 2023 about it if we can get to it. So I guess that would be a question. It could probably go up here under planning, or it could remain under future, either way. Just so we don't lose track, right? The Meridian Campus North Neighborhood Park Master Plan is something, again, kind of on the same theme. We don't want to lose track of that. I think with the bottleneck of projects, it's probably wise to leave it in the future category. This one, Lake Lois Habitat Reserve. So, along the same lines as wildlife, updating the interpretive signage and brochure. This is something that's long overdue that needs to happen. We actually had a group contact us recently that might be interested in taking on this project. So this is one that we could probably move up, since there could be help for it.
Can we do both of them at the same time? Like if we did one for one area, I know they would be, you know, probably different wildlife there, but could we partner with them on both of those projects? Is there a
That's
possibility?
great. I think it's a great possibility. Yeah, I mean, until we, you know, officially get them in the door. Yeah, I'm gonna put a note on here.
And is Aram heading the wildlife thing, or are we okay to just reach out to people and ask them if they'd be interested in it, or how does that work? Are
I
they-
took Aram's name off. It's up to you guys.
Yeah, like I said, I'm obviously I haven't been good shepherd of the idea. I came up with the idea, but I'm not moving it forward. So you obviously have great ideas about who to contact, and I invite anyone and everyone to explore all options. I mean, we can have, you know, there could be more than one organization. I mean, like I said, using St. Martin's, like maybe they have students that, you know, document like wildlife. I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities. So.
Okay, well, I think Commissioner Good is going to do Nisqually Reach, and I'll do Nisqually Reserve. We'll just get the ball rolling on those two projects. Then for the wildlife, we'll start reaching out to get information for them.
Yeah, this Wally Reach does scholarship programs for Gold Star kids during the summer.
Yeah.
Lacey, Thursday
Would
County.
the youth be interested in helping with that?
In what capacity?
If we did the wildlife with you, if we had people who were interested in wildlife information, gathering information, would they be interested in like going to the reserves? with you?
I don't know yet. It's closer, but I could ask her outside.
Okay,
Anyone's one.
okay, all right, I'd love to have.
They just want science. And contact information.
Of course.
Huh?
Yeah,
Right now. Like I feel like this Wally Reach is, I think Jim here. Like they've worked with us quite a bit, and they work with tribes. And specifically the combination of their leader people. Well, I guess it's popping up as. Even at the website, if you can look at it. But I've done a lot of work with them, because like I said, they have this, like a scholarship program.
If they would be interested in like just going. through questions, kind of just
To their,
kind of
Summer.
see what's out there. Do birdhouse.
and they get to learn about nature and pipes and everything. So it's kind of.
Thank you, that's my.
Oh, there you go. Right, Daniel that runs it, like.
Are we waiting on somebody? Are we making too much?
I can't hear everything you guys are saying. Do you have?
No, I was just telling him about the nature center because he wasn't familiar with it,
Oh, cool.
and
Okay.
And our youth council, Sarah Town, is gonna work with some of the high schoolers possibly. So I gave her my contact information so we can get some maybe high schoolers to help us out.
Oh my gosh. that's
Community
amazing.
service hours,
Okay.
man.
Yeah, I will sign up for that. I would
Okay,
love-
right on. Okay, so I added also on another topic, I added, so the Senior Services for South Sound, we have a lease agreement with them. They provide the services inside the building that the city owns. And that's the Virgil S. Clarkson Senior Center over by the Lacey Community Center at Woodland Creek Park. And so that is going to expire in 2020, early 2024. So we need to work on this next. This will be a mandatory have to get done item. Let's see. And then oh, the pickleball, okay, pickleball long-term requests. So the pickleball group came to us. I mean, it's been, I want to say it was 2019. It's been several years. It was before COVID. They want to help fundraise to add more courts at Rainier Vista Park. So they've asked, you know, how much, the reason it's on this list already is because the park board at the time committed to looking into their long-term request, just making sure they knew this would take a while, you know, and they offered to help with fundraising. So that's where we're at right now. I think that this one, I talked about putting in a budget request in 2023. So this would be a 2024 project. So this one could probably stay down here for now. The Longs Pond fishing dock, that one is one that maintenance has recently told me needs to be looked at sooner than later. So that one's gonna have to go up here.
Can we just put that in?
Oh, right, because of the budget. I have to ask for a budget. Well, no, sorry, you're right, because it wouldn't be till 24. Sorry about that. Yeah, you're right. So I put in the request in 23 for 24. And then Bush, we put down there. Okay.
I'm curious with that Longs Pond, I mean, because that's the deck, the dock that came from Long Lake, correct?
Yep.
Was it always known that it was just going to be a couple of years of a stopgap until we got a new one? Okay.
That one, it had, we weren't sure exactly. We thought we could get up to 7 years, just depending on how it performed.
Oh, okay.
So, but it's just, it's a very old dock.
Yeah.
But it worked out really well because the one that was at Longs Pond was completely shot and really old. So this was a better, you know, the replacement put us in a better situation. We thought we could get up to 7 years. So that was in 1921, 22. Yeah, we thought it was 5 to 7 years. It's going to be closer to the 5-year mark.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah. It looks like it's got some rot that's starting underneath of it. So, yeah. So this is the draft that I would bring back, with anything else that comes up between now and next month. I'd bring back to you all to look at in action in December for the next year. So any other comments or questions on this one? Dave, did you have something?
Yeah, I did. I want to backtrack to pickleball for a moment. I was watching television the other day and I saw a report on all the negatives of pickleball, and I'm just wondering, are we just all in on that and we're just doing it, or is there still because Rainier Vista, a lot of houses around there, and this report I saw on HBO Sports was talking about the noise of not only the balls being hit, but the fact that the players don't hold back in their exclamations of dismay and so forth. Has any of that been considered, or are we just going all in on pickleball like the world seems to be?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, we do hear from the pickleball group and not necessarily the neighbors around. So,
How much is going on out there right now? Is there a lot of it already being played, or?
Too
Yeah.
much. There's more
Yeah,
more
okay.
pickleball than they have courts for.
Right.
yeah,
And my other, I was going to say 2 words. I don't know if this is 2 words or 1 word, but my other comment on pickleball is racquetball. Those of us who are older remember that back in the 70s and 80s, everybody wanted to play racquetball. Racquetball was the biggest thing that ever happened, and it was changing the world and blah, blah, blah. And then, who plays racquetball now? People do, but not to that extent. So I'm just interested in whether pickleball is going to wag the dog a little bit, whether it's just getting out of hand. So just something to consider. I'm not against it. I'm just saying, making sure we've considered all the different aspects.
yeah. With from my perspective, yeah. Thanks for sharing. There are, there's the positive and there's the negatives, and I think the same kind of comes up for me with disc golf. There is some, there are some negatives to it, but I think the wellness piece to me is what always wins over. People are doing healthy activities. And the great thing about both of those sports is that they're super affordable, fairly easy to access. And I love the intergenerational aspect as well. You see a lot of kids playing with not only their friends or their parents, but also their grandparents in both of those sports. And I also do think that with pickleball courts, you can use, you can potentially do other things on the courts as well. If, let's just say, pickleball dropped off, I think that they're relatively inexpensive to install. And especially if you've got a group who's helping to fundraise, and then, there could be the potential for other uses for those courts later. So I guess that's how I see it personally. And I love the fact that people it might be a little bit noisy, but people really want to get out and exercise. And I think that's super important.
I mean, have any of the neighbors at Rainier Vista complained about the skateboard park? The noise from the skateboard park?
I'm not going to say that we've never had complaints from the neighbors at Rainier Vista, but I think most people who live around there know that it's a very busy park site.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think a lot of people who choose to live right next to a park like being close to the park, and also increases home value. But of course, always interested in hearing from people in the public.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was just something I saw and I noticed it, and it kind of made sense. And I worked for UC Berkeley when people complained every time the Bears would have 6 home games, even though they moved into their houses long after the stadium was built, they would still complain about the noise of the football games. So just thought I'd bring it up.
Yeah, well, and actually, related to pickleball is the fact that there is a private development going in Northeast Lacey. I don't know if any of you have heard of the business called 23 Kitchens. I shared this with Chair Wheeler on Monday, but there's an indoor, outdoor, and a restaurant going in next to the Starbucks, the new Starbucks in Northeast Lacey. And so more pickleball. I don't know what their membership rates will be, or what their fees will be. I'm sure they'll have to be following some type of a business model. But I think that all the pickleballers countywide are going to be really excited about that.
I did speak to a friend of mine who's lives in Hawks Prairie and is a big pickleballer, and he wasn't quite sure of the rate, but it wasn't as cheap as he was hoping. So it may not, I don't think it's going to impact our court usage, that much, because I think there's still going to be, a demand for that public piece.
Oh, did they publish what their rates are going to be?
This is unofficial, but he said he thinks it's like $80 a month to have a membership there. But that's what he had heard. So like I said, I don't think it's anything official yet, but from the pickleball community, it's not as affordable as I think they would like it to be from their understanding at this point. So there's still going to be a high demand for the public sector providing courts.
He has a question.
I got a question. When I know pickleball and my friend had one in the driveway, we tracked out some. Why can't we use some of these parking lots that aren't being used and put green stripes on them and have like the high school or grade school parking lots that are graded enough? You don't need a level court. And if we're gonna do the rack parking lot, maybe from hours to hours, it's available. After school or whatever, until we can event them. I mean, we got a lot of asphalt around Lacey, lighted facilities and everything else. I don't know, I think it's potential.
Yeah, are you saying for like a tournament or for a permanent?
Just for recreational purposes, people know that they can go from, say if the rack had a paved area and it's reserved from 3 to 4 or something like that for pickleball, or 2 to 4, 6 courts or something. People wanted just recreational pickleball. I mean, schools have a lot of parking lots. Some of them are not adaptable to slope, but some of them are pretty flat built, most of them. But an idea like that helps, community demand for pickleball courts, recreational use, not tournaments.
Yeah, and there is a lot of really good lightweight portable equipment, the portable nets. That's a great idea. We actually, we, as you know, have an interlocal agreement with the school district to use facilities.
Right.
That's a great idea, Commissioner.
During the summer, yeah, that's not a bad idea. Good move. All right. Well, still got a lot of stuff to go on. Any other comments about the work plan? All right. Well, move on to 8D. So the 2023 board chair and vice chair nominations. So this is an actionable event. So I know everyone here I don't know if anyone has gone through a nomination cycle, but this is where we put our peers on the spot and we nominate them for either the chair or the board chair. If no one is willing or wanting to nominate or participate, I would carry on a third term. However, I also would like to nominate Wendy to be or Commissioner Goodwin to be board chair.
Third, fourth. Well, personally, I'm just to kind of piggyback on, I've seen you in action. I went out with these community surveys, the way that you get in there, you're awesome and very devoted, and I love that energy, and I'd love to see that in another role, and chair or vice chair, whatever. But yeah, I'm grateful for you. So
Thank you.
yeah, I felt like, what am I doing here? She's running and taking all the people. But yeah, that I'm with you. I motion for Wendy.
Yeah. All right. Well, and then so the voting will be done. So the nominations are this, right? Isn't that correct? The nominations are this month, and then we will vote on it next month.
Well,
Yeah. So you'd want to specify if there's any other nominations for
Right.
chair.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's up to you guys. If you want to do it all this meeting, you can. If you want to do nominations this meeting and vote next meeting, you can do that as well. We just need to have it all done by the end of the year.
And I have my idea for vice chair, but I don't want to I don't want to take over the nomination piece either. So if there's any other nominations they would like to throw out for vice chair or for chair, please feel free. No other nominations? Then I-
Okay, Aaron, can you do another chair? I nominate you to do the chair. You stay where you're at.
Like I said, I could, yeah, like I said, if no one is willing to do it, I don't mind doing it. Like it's fun. But you know, my reasoning for wanting to nominate you is just the leadership role that you just automatically kind of bring to that table and the dedication that you put to it. So we've always had a kind of an idea, unofficial try to spread the wealth around and let everyone have the opportunity to do that. Because I've learned so much from doing this position and also observing other people do this position as well. So if not wanting to be nominated for chair, I would also suggest you for vice chair. I was also going to suggest Commissioner Good for vice chair if she was interested. So both of you guys show great leadership, and I think in some sort of capacity it would be great to see you guys doing something like that. But I appreciate you nominating me as well. So now I don't know what to do.
So let's do the chair nominations first, and we need a motion for that. So I heard Wheeler nominate Goodwin, and I heard Goodwin nominate Wheeler.
So confusing.
I nominate Goodwin for chair.
I second.
So we have, what
What's the motion?
Director Burbidge is doing is we're doing the nominations and then we vote. So then we get to vote on it. So the motion would be nominating both myself and Wendy and Commissioner Goodwin to be chair of the Lacey Parks Recreation and Culture Board, and or LUCBRB as the acronym would be. So I'll make a motion for that, and then someone will have to second that, and then we'll agree on the motion that is who we're nominating for chairs. So I'll make a motion that Commissioner Goodwin and myself were nominated for, or can I even do that as being the person nominated? Does someone else have to make that motion? Probably.
Well, I think there was a motion. Yeah, let's do it separately. So there was a motion for Goodwin, and I heard it was seconded. So if you want to run through that one first.
Okay.
All those in favor?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And then Commissioner Goodwin, if you wanted to continue with your motion, why don't you repeat that?
Yeah.
Huh? Oh, I nominate Commissioner Chair Wheeler for chair. Yes. Of the Lacey Park and Rec. Sorry.
LUCBRB. You just say LUCBRB. It's easier. Does anyone second that?
Yes. I second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Time to vote,
Any
right?
opposed? Any opposed?
Oh, any opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Okay. So you just want to make sure if there's any other nominations for chair at this time.
Any other nominations? No? Okay. Well, so then now do we vote? Is that how we do it?
You guys can vote tonight if you want to, or you can do it next
Okay.
month. What do you guys want? Do you want to think about it, or would you like to vote?
I'd rather think about it.
Okay. Then we can wait till next month. The suspense can continue.
Yep.
Totally fine.
If you do the chair, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
So do the same thing for the chair.
Yeah. So I did make a motion for Commissioner Good to be vice chair. If you want to second that.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Are there any other nominations for vice chair? Okay. Hearing none, we won't know the outcome till next month though. So you're gonna have to, so Commissioner Good, you're gonna be on the edge of your seat until next month.
I do, why not?
Well, as long as you're wearing them, that's all.
And then, and Commissioner Town, isn't government exciting? Like this stuff is like really, we're so good at it too. Like this is stuff that you can look forward to with doing public service. So we're glad that you're a part of it.
That was my first 2 degrees.
Oh, kitty.
Jen will be right back, so if we want to take. Oh, there she is. Never mind. Oh,
She's back.
Sorry.
All right, well, we have the motions for chair and vice chair all taken care of, and we will, next month, we will vote and take care of it.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. So that moves to, the PCR budget action proposal, budget and proposal actionable item.
Yeah, so actually, right, so we do need, as is an annual occurrence, a recommendation from the park board for the 2023 budget for the city manager to recommend it to city council. And so, but we don't need action on the budget proposals. Those are separate, but I did include in your packet which ones got approved and which ones didn't, just for your information. So Sarah, do you mind sharing the packet so I can put the budget documents up? Is that quick and easy for you?
I can make it quick and easy for me.
Oh.
Okay.
Then I'll zip through this. But also happy to answer any questions that you have once we go through.
We want to go to the budget documents. correct?
Yeah, and so if you don't mind just helping me for just a moment, go to page 21 there. Yeah, there we go. Oh, is that the first one? Yeah, okay, so our budget is broken out into a couple different sections for Parks, Culture, Recreation. We have a community buildings fund. And as you can see on this cover sheet, the operating budget is $892,281. And these are, this is the budget for Lacey Community Center and Jacob Smith House and the Lacey Senior Center. So it's a little bit, it's interesting how we're kind of divided up because part of it is in the, part of it has to do with public works since we're combined, we work together. And so if you want to go to the next page, I'll show you what I mean. Yeah, so this shows the revenues. Oops. Yeah, so there's a proposed revenue of about $892,281. And then if you scroll down, and so you can see the total for the community center is $348,413 for the expenses. Yep. And then if you go down, so Jacob Smith House is $103,428. And then you've got the senior center, the maintenance there. You've got the museum maintenance. The other part of our museum falls under Parks, Culture, and Recreation budget. And then the museum complex is the depot park. Which is the $11,850. And then you have some of the facility maintenance side for the community center, which is, yeah, so this is where it gets a little weird because that's not actually oversight from me, that's Public Works. So it's a combo action here. Let's see. Yep, keep going down. Senior center. And then the city does own a childcare center as well that we lease out. Again, it's not under me. So, but that's where you see there's your expenditures of $892,281. So between the revenues and the expenses, it balances. Okay, if you want to keep going down. So here, Parks Recreation, this is the bulk of our department's budget. And as you can see, that is the 3.2, just over $3.2 million. And you want to keep going down. All right, thank you. So we have, so our general services, and if you want to just kind of slowly scroll, Sarah. We have our youth and teen area. Rec administration, which is where Sarah and I fall under. Then we have our aquatics section. With physical activities or sports, otherwise known as. We have culture, arts, and education. Those are community recreation classes. We have outdoor trips and programs. We've got a fitness area, special events. And then this is where the recreation side of our museum operation falls. And so with the total there, so the bottom portion doesn't belong to us, not the other, but that 3,272,362. That's the total for Parks and Rec. Yep. And then if you go down, I think that's the end of that section. And then we have the regional athletic complex. Again, this is a combination of Parks, Culture, Recreation, and Public Works. And so the total operating budget is just over 1.3 million. Thank you, Sarah. And what that makes up, so it shows the revenues here. And that's where you come to the 1.3, and then you have the expenses broken down by maintenance. So this part belongs to Public Works here. And then the 007-7401, the general services section, that falls under us over in Parks, Culture, and Recreation. So we piece it together. And so there you balance that 1.3. Then I had put the proposals in here. So the ones that we got approved is our Learn membership and conference. It's going to allow Sue the ability to find out. She's gonna be able to go to a conference and then also have some consultation afterwards. And what they're going to do is take a look at our marketing materials and our pricing structure, and they'll make suggestions to us for best practices. And so we're looking for efficiencies and kind of trends. And then I shared with you the Woodland Creek Bridge. That's a hugely important one. It's a 45-plus-year-old bridge that's got some rot happening underneath. That's at Woodland Creek Park, right by the disc golf course there. We did not get the Bush Park playground equipment replacement, but I'll be putting that one in next year. We didn't get the senior center parking lot expansion design. That one, because of our backlog of projects, we're just going to have to wait on that. We did get some enhanced lighting for Huntermore Park. Maintenance is really excited about that one. It's going to be some of the lights that move to the music. So that's going to be really exciting for it. It won't happen until the end of 2023 because obviously this is the 2023 budget, but more to come on that one. We had a couple items that were taken care of in 2022, so they got crossed off. We did get the table replacements at the community center approved, but not the Jacob Smith House. So we'll just have to get those, look at replacing those ones later, but at least we got some of them. And then police overtime at Long Lake Park, that one's just going to be going now into our regular operating for the city. And so we won't have to put in a proposal for that one moving forward. We did get a park planner full-time position. That's going to be hugely important, not only for my work-life balance, but also for that bottleneck of projects that we talked about. So a little more help in our department. Super excited about that one. We did get a staff training increase. We're very excited about that as well. This is, of course, is pending council approval. Prices are just going up, and also we just feel it's hugely important to keep, our staff updated on the latest trends. And then we did include the Public Works park maintenance requests. They did get that fencing, kind of the skirt that's going to be able to be replaced. They got the right on fertilizer replacement. They did not get the journey level maintenance tech. position, but they did get the rest of the items there approved to move forward. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions about the budget.
It all looks pretty straightforward, a lot of numbers, it all balances. Any questions from anyone? All right, well, hearing none, I will make a motion to recommend Director Burbidge to present the budget to the City Council.
I second.
All right, all in favor?
I,
Aye. You have our blessing. Go
Thank
forth.
you.
Go forth and budget. All right,
Thanks.
and let's see where we at here. Let me get back to the list here. And now we are at your director's report.
Okay, the first report I have is under C for programs and special events. Sue wasn't able to be here tonight, but she wanted me to share that we do have some special holiday programs and events coming up. Friday, December 2nd, we have our Signing Santa at 6:30 p.m. at Chambers Prairie Elementary School. Monday, December 5th is the annual Lacey Lighted Vehicle Parade and Park Lighting Ceremony. That's at 6:30 p.m. at Pittsburgh Park. She said we would love to have any park board members that want to come, but she said also there's room in the tent if you want, with the council, with the council members that are going to be coming, if you want to attend and have a spot to watch the parade, Jeanette can reserve you a space. So if you could just let Sarah know.
And what's the date of that again?
So she said, Jeanette said she would love to have park board members at the event. If you want to attend, she can have a place for you with city council members.
No, right, I know. What's the date? What's the date?
Oh,
of
I'm
the-
sorry.
of the lighting?
Monday, December 5th.
December 5th, okay.
Yeah, it's at 6:30 at Hunter Park.
Awesome.
I'll go.
Oh, she also wanted me to let you know staff will be giving out 2,000 3D holiday glasses at the event, similar to the ones for the fireworks. So when you look at the lights, it has cool designs. So we're real excited about that. Saturday, December 10th, we have the brunch with Santa at the community center. Pre-registration is required. There's 2 different sessions. They usually sell out. It's $15 per person. It includes food, crafts, and a photo with Santa and more magic. And let's see, I think we have our next registration. Sarah, do you remember?
Yeah, it's gonna be on December 14th is our next registration.
Okay. And that's all I have for programs and special events. I did have a couple miscellaneous items under H. So the first one, I wanted to make sure that you all knew, because we got some correspondence about the pickleball situation. And I wanted to let you know that Sue Faylash, our recreation manager, went out to Rainier Vista Park 2 nights in a row, right after those pieces of correspondence came through. She said that the group that was potentially hogging the courts weren't there, and that there were tons of players and everybody was rotating and playing really nicely together. And she said she was really struck by the volume of people that were using the courts. So, but everyone seemed happy, and it was great for her to engage with a lot of the public. So we looked at it as a positive opportunity to interact. The other thing I wanted to mention is that if any of you know Ruth Weigelt, she has been super instrumental in the Lacey Spring Fun Fair for the past 30 plus years in Lacey. She is also on the board for the YMCA. She's on the group, the residents group that helps with the, the citizen action committee for the school district. She's often referred to as the mother of Lacey and really helps. She was on our outreach team for the Parks Board, and she's just an amazing person. She's getting the Spirit of Lacey Award tomorrow night at 6:00 p.m. in the council chambers, and we are trying to pack the house in support of her. In fact, our department nominated her. And the Spirit of Lacey Award, I don't know if you guys realize it, it's not an annual thing. It just goes out kind of when needed. And we felt this was really needed. And so so excited about this. So we'd love it if you wanted to join us. You can also join virtually the council meetings.
Tomorrow, 6 p.m. here.
It's 6 p.m., correct?
6:00 p.m. and it'll be right at the top of the agenda. I mean, after public comment, of course. So it'll be early in the meeting. And I am hightailing it back from Linwood to be there, traffic willing. And then the third thing, just a big piece of news, I'm sure you all have heard, but our city manager, Scott Spence, has accepted an offer for city manager in Astoria, Oregon. Super sad to see him go. He'll be here through at least December 15th and maybe even through the end of the year. Very, very, very sad to see him go, but super excited for him, for his new opportunity, of course. But that is a really big piece of news. And the council announced that they have put together a committee for search and recruitment and the hiring of our new city manager. But the process will likely take, 6 months. So I will keep you posted with what's going on, but I just wanted to make sure that you all knew that. And that's all I have.
Well, great. Thank you, Director Burbidge. Yeah, that leaves us with any commissioners report. So do any commissioners have anything that they would like to report at this time? Oh, Commissioner Goodwin, please.
Pick me. So I am working with Walk and Roll program. And I reached out to them. Carrie Wilson and A. Purry are the 2 points of contacts. And I know that Anne has also contacted me, and I don't know how to pronounce her last name yet. I haven't met her in person, but I met with them October 13th at 13:30. And I would like for them to come to our December 7th meeting for public comment for a 3-minute presentation on Walk and Roll programs and partnering with Lacey on certain activities that they're doing and things that they're wanting to implement in certain areas. They had ideas about a bike education hub, bike and walk day events, bike library concepts, and then like pop-up bike gardens placed in our Lacey parks. They wouldn't be permanent, but they've got a lot of really good ideas, and they're moving from downtown Olympia to Pattison and Martin and Pattison. They have a grand opening, save the date. It's November 10th. I would really, really, really appreciate if one of our commissioners or somebody from our group could go to this November 10th from 2 to 4 for their grand opening. I am in Arizona with my aunt. And so for medical reasons, but if somebody would take the opportunity to go to this and take photos for me, I'd be really grateful. Would you do that, Gary?
2 to 4?
Yes. I will give you the invitation. Yeah. But they have, I met with them and they're really wonderful people to work with. And since they're coming more to Olympia Lacey, they're coming closer to us. I'd really like to partner with them and have some more activities with them and do some more events. Like we've talked about a lot event where you go on the trails from Lacey to Olympia, Tumwater, just kind of get some events together. But it would be a partnership with them in intercity transit. And then I also spoke with, there was a concern that came to me from a person who lived in the area, about our programming, which we've had lots of conversations about. Plus, we've met with Chris Yonka and Cody Lee and Doug and Sean Feeney. I met with them online. They were kind enough to meet with me and walk through some of the programs that are available for our pre-Ks, 3 to 5 year olds. I have a concerned parent that they feel like there's not enough after-hour programs and not enough weekend programs. So I reached back out to her after I had that meeting with all of the coordinators, and they got back to me, sent me some examples and links of programs and things that they could do to help this situation. And I was fascinated that Olympia registers for 43% of the classes. Lacey is registering for 46%. And then we have outside registrations of 11% of the classes. So we're obviously partnering with them already with a lot of different activities. It's the facilities and personnel instructor issues, which I know we've all been talking about it. It's been ongoing and coming out of COVID, just trying to get back on track. So fall of 2023, Cody says that he's hoping that we'll kind of be back on track for programs for the weekends and that kind of stuff. But this is it's really helpful information. And I put it together with the questions from the community member and what I gleaned from our coordinators, the community coordinators. So I have both of those. And then I was wondering, since now we get the culture piece added to our name, is there a way that we could maybe talk about doing something like Lacey Kindness or something where we spotlight some of the foundations or groups that are in our local area who are nonprofit organizations, where almost like how we do the historic talks, where we could have some of our organizations come in and talk to us about the different resources that are out there promoting kindness or nonprofits that are in our areas. And I'd be willing to work with a lot of those groups. If I know we got lots of things going on, but if there's somebody in Lacey I could work with, I would really like to do a spotlight for kindness of some kind.
So a couple of things come to mind. There is I'm trying to recall the exact name. So the city and the school district and the Chamber of Commerce do a community caring. I'll have to look on our website. They do something like this already.
Okay.
And so I can connect you with that and see if that's what you're thinking. The other thought I have is that this is a perfect time to bring up these ideas because you all are working on your work plan for next year. And so if that's something that you wanted to consider adding, to the work plan, that's something that you guys could definitely talk about. And it's nice that you're offering to help because you can see that the work plan has a lot of things on it already. And some of them, we haven't quite gotten to, but when it comes along with the offer to help, that makes it more possible.
Yeah. Well, and you have budget information, but I like programs. I like that portion of what we do for our community and getting our faces out there and kind of working. But I know we do the history talks and we have those being presented from the historical commission. And I know at some point we kind of have to merge with that commission when we go into the museum. So I'd like to start working either with other commissions to kind of bridge that knowledge gap for me. And then obviously promote a culture change for kindness or something in that where we, just kind of highlight some of our groups out here. There's a lot of places that people don't even know about that are either nonprofit or resources that really, I think would need
And to that, honestly, the nonprofit sector community bridges large gaps for the public sector, financially and resource wise. And, and I even know like several, like the Thurston County Furniture Bank or things like that people don't know there, especially in times like this would help the bridge and community connect for those nonprofits to help the citizens at large. So like, I understand, like the history, it's a great thing, but this would be another supportive resource for the city to be able to present. So I can get behind that 110% and happy to help with that, so.
And
But-
it does fit into the comprehensive plan as far as, one of the strategic goals is partnering and, leveraging and
engaging.
together.
Yeah, it
Together
engages the
to do more.
community and the city as a whole, so.
Did you say you typed up some thoughts on that, Commissioner Goodwin?
I haven't put together, I was kind of just, I'm formulating a plan in my head. Cause I'm with Ruth on a lot of different projects. And so it's kind of coming to fruition on, I think where some of my problems are, it's so much research goes into trying to locate all of the different entities, resources in our area. It would just be nice to acknowledge that these groups are out there, that they are trying to make a cultural difference. They're being kind and caring for their community members. And I think since coming out of COVID, just promoting kindness and showing that nonprofits make a difference and they're kind of behind the scenes workers. They go to work every day and they volunteer their hours. I think it would be nice to spotlight that. And just, somehow that we do that as I don't know, either the groups or I was thinking maybe the nonprofits give us the backdrop to how they became, what was the need, how they came to be, and then what they see for their legacy or moving forward would be an opportunity, or what they actually do for the community. So I'm brainstorming it right now, but
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's a platform now that we've added culture. That we can.
Well, yeah, and like I said, it does fit with the the strategic goals for the department as well. I would want to let me check with public affairs and see, because they do a lot of that kind of thing as well, and so we definitely don't want to duplicate. Right, we want to identify what's already happening, and then see how we can connect to it, or if it's not happening in a way that works for this board, we could come up with a different structure. So yeah, I think that's something that's great to ponder. Great ideas.
Yeah, Commissioner Goodwin, I think you really did, instead of it just trying to merge our name to make it more, cohesive, like really like what is our now values and goals, and where do we move forward as a board, under that new umbrella of name, because it's not just the parks that we're covering anymore. We're covering other aspects of the city of Lacey. And that's, I hadn't really put as intensive thought into that as you did until this point. So I appreciate you bringing that to our attention.
Yeah, and I think it's also recreation, doing good works, out of the kindness of your heart. I think it's a good way to, bridge all of the things that we're doing as a collective group. But I know, there's a lot of us here that are doing things behind the scenes, and it would just be nice to see all of that kind of come together. I'd be totally on board with helping, or at least talking with people to formalize a plan, my little idea. But that is what I had, and I will give these to you, Sarah,
Awesome.
because I know you love all my notes.
Perfect. I'll scan them and I email them to everybody. It's actually true, so.
But I think that is all I have for right now.
Thank you, Commissioner Goodwin. Anyone else?
Thank you.
Awesome. I don't really have anything myself. So that being said, I call this first official meeting of the Lacey Park Recreational Culture Board, or LPCBRG, adjourned.
Good.
I like that one better.
Thank
you.